I was so dumb, but I hopped on a plane, almost drove right back to the 541. Shitty U-turn on the freeway, you turn me from a fiend to a way to you fun. I can wait in the sun for a little, but it's been real gray, and tonight it's a nice C1. I can wait in the cold for a while.
I thought that was gold. It was gold.
Jeez. It's all gold, buddy. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. Thank you for watching us, twitch.tv/abrog87. Thank you for listening to us on the podcast. Also on YouTube. Do a search for the Sports Brewery on YouTube. You'll find videos and stuff. A reminder, a public service announcement that King brought to my attention and Ski's attention before we started. Cancel your Red Zone subscription. Don't get billed extra just because you were lazy or you forgot. Cancel that Red Zone subscription. You don't need it anymore. It's okay. You're good. As King moves his camera down to his junk. Hey, everybody, check out King's junk. We're going to get booted from Twitch for that. King, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, cool. All right, fair enough.
Yeah. For something.
Booble's asking if you can cancel a
We
streaming.
good? No?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I can see you fine.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Booble's asking if you can cancel a streaming site, and the answer is yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, get your friend's password. That's how it works. Everybody knows that. Movie this week, by the way, for Sunday's podcast is The Greatest Beer Run Ever. It is on Apple TV Plus. I think it is. Yeah. So that's the movie we're watching this week and we're going to talk about for Sunday. So check that out and then listen to us talk about it. That's the thing. By the way, the music for our podcast, I figured I'd give him a shout out because he's been giving me free music for a long time. Hans is the guy who does that, and he just dropped an EP this week. So search out Hans on Spotify or Apple Music. He dropped a new EP this week called... it's called Like the Sunset on My Bedroom Wall. I was trying to read my own handwriting. I'm an idiot. My bad.
Is he a 90s emo punk band with that title there? Jesus.
It's Hans Zimmer.
It's a wordy title, Hans.
It's
a
little wordy.
He doesn't listen, so whatever, but it's a wordy title, my guy. But the music's banging. You hear the music, it's banging. So check him out. He's great. Okay, where should we start? Because there's actually a fair amount of Duck news this week, oddly enough. I feel like the transfer portal's just sort of like a constant thing in our world now, where we're like, until the time frame sort of ends for it, we're just gonna get constant news all the time because there's literally thousands of kids going into and coming into Oregon's program, leaving Oregon's program for the portal.
Well,
and so we got big news this week. So what?
Oh, I was saying I saw the Beavers leading tackler linebacker just hit the portal.
He did. Omar Spates.
And I was like, is it just made up? I thought they said there was a window I thought it should be closed by now.
I don't know how it works, man. I know the Board of Regents or whatever the fuck it is, like the NCAA got together and they just created a new rule for it for second time transfers. So they have to. It's like if they're transferring for the second time, they have to have graduated before the second one. Otherwise, they have to sit out a year, which would obviously ruin a year of eligibility. And so like JT Daniels transferred to his fourth team or something like that. I think that's what they're trying to avoid, basically. But
was it Keaton Slovis on 3 going to 3 now too?
Yeah. So They're just trying to avoid the guys going from program to program every year. By the way, fucking A, that's a great idea. If you can do it, if you have programs who are going to take you and give you a scholarship, go live in Austin, Texas for a year. Go live in Baton Rouge for a year. You know what I mean? Go live in LA for a year. You might as well. Your college is getting paid for, room and board. Fuck it.
Yeah, why the hell not? Especially if you just keep bouncing around to guarantee you starting still.
Exactly.
That's definitely some of these guys.
Okay, so the big news for Oregon is Jordan Burch transferring in from South Carolina. 5-star dude out of high school, ranked the number 17 overall recruit in the country that year. A 4-star transfer ranking, whatever the fuck that means. Like, who knows? He has 2 years left to play, and last year had 3.5 sacks, 60 tackles. People have said that he was good for them last year. I have no idea. Why would I ever watch South Carolina football? But that sort of coincides with the news that Dorless and Rogers are coming back. Obviously, they're coming back. Like, they're not, I guess not obviously. They could enter the portal and go somewhere else, but, like, they're not going to go to the NFL. And
no,
so,
we have seen dumber moves, people going to the NFL thinking a little highly of themselves, but
recently we've seen that with
recently
with an Oregon player, as a matter of fact. But so I mean, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I feel like it was where, like, Oregon's recruiting. They got like 14 defensive linemen in this class. And then you're so we had talked about it, like, okay, if Dorless leaves, like, you're gonna have a totally new front seven, and now they're not. So, like, Dorless and Rogers are coming back, and then you're bringing in these transfers, and it's like, well, suddenly you might actually have a halfway decent defensive line, just because they clearly put a whole shit ton of resources towards it. So.
Yeah, I would say maybe a little overkill.
I know.
In the amount of edge rushers coming in. Someone's not going to be happy and not be playing, and you kind of hope it's not going to be Ugalalele. Kind of want to keep him.
Okay, we have to come to an agreement on the pronunciation of that last name.
Matty
I would like
Matty U. Not you.
No.
Matty U. No?
No. Cop out.
Okay, then you do.
All right, what are we going with then?
Mateo Uiagalelei.
Uiagalelei.
I don't know.
That's how you pronounce it, right?
I don't know. I think so.
I think it is. Uiagalelei.
We just don't need to do the Mario.
I like the Matty Uwe. The Matty Uwe. One word. Matty Uwe. No. WCP says Uwe Unga Lele. Uiagalelei. Okay. Thank you.
They're not close. What did I say originally? Was it not close to that? Uiagalelei. Yeah.
Way too long ago. You added an extra Lele, so
put it in the air.
Chill out.
No, but clearly they're. Lanning noticed the lack of pressure last year.
Yeah. No, they were one of the worst in the country, actually.
And he watched Georgia this year on defense and, the year before. And it's like, what makes defense a little easier? Getting pressure on the quarterback. And when you look at the talent at quarterback in the Pac-12, good to have guys to get to those QBs.
So, by the way, Oregon right now has 25 scholarship defensive linemen.
Ridiculous.
25.
That's
25.
Crazy. That's
they
crazy.
currently have 95 scholarship players, and the most allowed is 85.
Well, any truth to them moving Matty Uiagalelei to tight end?
No, fuck no.
I saw some stuff online about that.
No, and I feel like that's like the hardest position to move someone to a different position. Like you're not really going to move them to linebacker. You can't move them anywhere in the secondary, and I feel like you're wasted at tight end if you're like a 5-star recruit edge rusher. They're more valuable than a tight end, unless you're Bowers and you're just a freak among boys in college football.
Remember what they did with Eric Armstead? He was a 5-star tackle, but a 4-star defensive lineman, and he wanted to play defensive lineman, and so Oregon just had him play defensive line. And
seems like it's worked out.
Obviously, it worked out for him. Yeah, he's very good.
No,
he's on my team.
I would say his teammates at the time at Oregon were ribbing him every year, being like, Should probably be on offense.
Yeah. Well, he's playing next to Buckner too. That didn't help, but yeah. Yeah. So Oregon. So again, the situation in the world we're living in now, like Oregon has 25 defensive linemen on the roster right now. They're not going to have that next year, or maybe even before the year starts, because a few of them are going to realize they're never going to play here and they're going to transfer somewhere else, which is like, okay, that's the game. That's the game, man. The roster fluctuates like that now.
I guess it works. You kind of, weed out the weak and keep the strong, right?
It's a trip.
And that's pretty much, college sports in general.
It's a trip going from year to year now. So
Circle of life.
Yeah, like until they change the process, which they you figure they'll do within the next like 5 years or so. Like it's a trip. You're just gonna have a very different team from year to year if you're a team like Oregon. I mean, I was gonna say like it doesn't really affect teams like Oregon State, but Oregon State just lost one of their best, if not their best, defensive player to the transfer portal. So,
but also there is a very new rule that if you're hired in December or January, which Lanning was, you have 18 months to. I can't remember, but you have 18 months to really skew the roster numbers. So, like, if Lanning was in his third year, he could not be doing this.
Oh.
But it's like you have
prime time is going to be utilizing this.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley really used most of it like immediately last year when he was hired. Lanning used a couple of just normal, but now he's doing what Lincoln Riley did last, January and February. That's what he's doing now. And I forget what the numbers are, but you have 18 months to really just you basically can cut 20 players and give them the option to either leave or stop playing football but have a academic scholarship. Like that's why it's super chaotic. Like he can't replicate it again after this year. He cannot do it again.
And that makes sense because with the trending now, you lose your coach, you could lose half your team portaling out.
Right, and that's
you got to be able. They're like an expansion team. It's like you got to help them out. Give them the extra guys they could get, and then when they're established, all right.
Like I was kind of reading something about it the other week, and I think it was 8 USC guys that were on scholarship last year under Clay Helton that just were in school this year, but not, on the football team. And that's just kind of the guys that actually just transferred out to play football somewhere else. So, it's new, it's weird, but it is what it is. Like I've been seeing people be like, not even just Oregon specific, but all these programs like, oh, bad culture. It's like, well, it's just a new rule. We'll get used to it, And if your team doesn't have a new coach, I wouldn't expect you to know the rule because it's like 3 years old. Then it happened during COVID, so why would anyone know? If you don't have to know,
right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say with that for the Ducks, are you guys happy that Lanning's kind of working on the defensive line, or would you like to see more, secondary linebacker help as opposed to D-line?
I think the line. I'll say D-line because that's sort of a numbers game, I guess. Even within a game, where linebackers, if you have two good ones, which Oregon doesn't, but. You can kind of like. I'm gonna buy in on the Iowa guy. What is it?
Yeah, so I'm
gonna buy in on him. But Keith Brown and Bossa on the others, I just like we've said before. We liked Bossa in 2021. Scrappy, true freshman, undersized, flew around.
He's not the third linebacker. That's what
he's not big enough to play linebacker. He's not fast enough to be a safety. God bless him. He plays his ass off. If it's him and Keith Brown, I don't know. Keith Brown was good in the Holiday Bowl. He really was. He was legitimately good. But it's the only time he has been. So
against North Carolina.
Well, hey, ACC Coastal Champions. I don't know why you're scoffing at that. Oregon didn't win a division championship. Nope. Did you win a division championship this year? I don't think so.
That's true. You got me there.
I mean, I feel like you're being a little judgmental there. Mac Brown's won a natty. What are you doing?
North Carolina.
Mac Brown won a Rose Bowl in like 2005. He can pop off.
North Carolina is far superior to me in the ACC. You're absolutely right.
In your face.
Yes.
In my face.
In your face.
Oregon did get that Arizona State linebacker to transfer into with Connor Soule or whatever his name is. I don't even know, but
never heard of him.
Never heard.
I saw that. I was like,
he graded high though.
Sure.
Though.
Yeah, PFF. I mean,
we're making up. We're making up transfer ratings. Like that's the thing. I realize all ratings are made up. So it's like whatever. Somebody's making up these bullshit numbers to like grade these kids or whatever. But transfer portal numbers are fucking made up. Like this guy puts up 0 numbers at Arizona State, and he's the highest graded linebacker transfer according to PFF. Like PFF watched no film of this guy. They
watch every play. What are you talking about, sir?
Yeah, okay.
That's their whole thing. They watch every play.
Every single play. Yeah, okay. All right.
Every single play.
Yep.
He beat Washington this year. In your face again. Did you beat Washington?
Yeah, beat the Huskies. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see you on your couch beating Washington.
No.
This guy did.
Fair.
No, when I saw his name, I was like, I've never heard of him. I was like, oh, he's like a preferred walk-on. And then like an hour later, I was like, scholarship? What? Who? What?
They're just giving out scholarships to anybody nowadays, man.
Kind of seems like it, yeah. Kind of seems like it.
What do you think? You think it's a good idea for Lanning? Let's say Ducks go and try to get this Oregon State linebacker that hit the portal. Would you want all new blood? Do you want all new blood in at linebacker right now?
Holy shit. Throw all the, like, William Street or whatever the fuck they are, throw everything you got at Spates, dude. Like, seriously.
Right.
Throw everything you got at this dude. Bring him in. I don't care if he was a Beaver. I don't give a shit. Like, he's a legitimately very good linebacker. And Oregon has, I don't want to say they haven't had one in a while, but, like.
Who was the last linebacker that you're like, yeah?
I mean, Sewell was like first team All Pac-12 last year. Like, well, I know you didn't think he was good.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, they didn't have Lawrence Taylor. Like, what do you guys? What's your criteria?
I want Kiko Alonso in every single linebacker.
Okay, yes, Kiko Alonso honestly probably wasn't very good. We just thought he was cool.
He had one good year.
One good year.
Yeah.
I do love that
playing with Michael. By the way, playing with Michael Clay, who is a legitimately very good linebacker.
He tried hard.
Not like NFL skill level wise, but you know what I mean. Like he was a very good college linebacker.
A little bit of a compiler.
He tried hard.
Like, I'm gonna get a bunch of tackles at the 5-yard mark. Hey, Monty Ball, 17 tackles on you, but you had 196 yards. Wow. I'm Michael Clay.
Monty Ball, what happened to that guy?
He was slow.
Yeah.
He ran all over Michael Clay and Kiko Alonso.
Did he, though?
I think he probably did. Look it up. Someone in the chat, look it up. Monty Ball.
Yeah, give us some
Monty Ball first, Oregon.
Give us some Oregon, Wisconsin Rose Bowl stats.
I think until John Boyette hit him in the dick, he was running wild.
What a wild game that was. Remember the last play where Boyette was clearly concussed and trying to call a timeout while Russell Wilson was running the clock
just
out?
Wandering around. Yeah.
Like he was literally calling a timeout right to the official, and the official's like, "No, you don't actually want to do that." He didn't call it.
Do you know who the head official is that called the time has expired? Do you know his name?
Yeah, he's in the NFL now.
He is. BA or is his initials?
BA?
BA.
I was gonna say Land Clark. It's not Land Clark. I forget.
No, but I think Land Clark was a Pac-12 guy too. Or was a Pac-12 guy.
Yeah.
Brad Allen.
Brad Allen, that's it.
Monty Ball. 32 carries for 164.
Oh my God, what a bell cow. They don't make them like that anymore.
Along of 42.
Oh man.
Russell Wilson, 6 for 18 in a TUD.
6 for 18?
How do we win this game?
6 for 18?
6 carries for 18 yards.
Okay, yeah. How many? What was his passing yards?
19 of 25 for 296.
Yep, he's pretty good.
They throw into like Al Toon's kid.
Yeah.
and Jared Abbrederis.
Jared
And
Abbrederis.
Aberdare.
Yeah.
Aberdare had
Nick
119.
Toon and Jared Abbrederis.
Both had 100 yards in that game.
Oh my God.
Tore
Nick
up the
Toon.
Oregon secondary. Prior
That's what,
to
that's what we wanted to cut Efo, I think. Well, this Efo
Yeah,
guy.
that was-
You can't even guard Abadubadis, the white guy. Get him out of here.
And I forgot we had 250-yard rushers in that game.
Well,
Is that when,
was
Uh,
Anthony,
a little gimmicky.
is that the one Efo
Yeah.
got hurt before?
No, that was the Florida State.
all right,
Okay.
That was the playoff.
here's the ultimate. Do you know your Ducks? Who was the Ducks' leading receiver in that game?
Lavassier 2-A.
Lavassier 2-8, 8 for 158 and 2 tuds.
Pass Lavassier.
I believe he is a assistant coach at Churchill now.
I do love how in Rose Bowls, like every leading receiver is super random for the Ducks. 2-A, Carrington, whoever was like, oh, well, Carrington's going to be so great. And he really never was before or after. And then like Juan Johnson, who's now his tight end. And he probably led the team in receiving in the 2020 Rose Bowl with 68 yards. But they were big. It was a big 68 yards.
Juwan Johnson might have led the Saints this year in touchdown.
Yeah.
I think he did.
He's legitimately good for them.
Yeah.
For a horrible, horrible NFL franchise, but
I
legitimately.
do enjoy his wife's like social media presence because people don't understand the joke that like during the pandemic when everyone was bored, she started doing like the hi, I'm the terrible athlete's white wife, and people still don't get it, and they're atrocious. Her videos, like if they were real, you'd be like, this is the worst human ever, but they're all a joke. And the comments are funny.
I dig that. I'm going to check them out. That's a great idea. Prior to the spike into the pass, the clock went to 0. The game is over. Never forget that. Brad Allen, baby. LaMichael into the College Football Hall of Fame.
Good for him. Who cares?
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
also Reggie.
you know, I will say what's funny is getting into the College Football Hall of Fame is harder than getting into the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame, which is very funny to me.
Yeah, because that's pretty easy to get into.
You might get into that. You on your couch.
Yeah. Did I score 100 points in a basketball game? Do that.
You don't need to.
and
Did
then
you
pop
score
up.
100 in your life?
Yeah. Have a fun story about you regarding
Have you
basketball.
looked into basketball?
Yeah.
And you might get into Springfield.
Yeah. Oh man, I did a cross country drive about 10 years ago, and the plan was to stop off at the Halls of Fame. So I went to Cooperstown, went to Canton, and for the basketball one, we were so tired that we just were like, basketball one kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So we took a nap in the parking lot and then continued driving.
And Doug Christie's in it. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what's a bigger honor, to get in the Basketball Hall of Fame or to have a statue in front of an arena?
A statue.
By far.
Like, statistically, it's a
Better,
statue.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, have you seen the Dirk statue? Oh,
Dirk one.
little fadeaway with his leg out. Oh, baby, if you're gonna have a statue, that's quality work.
But speaking of LaMichael, so he's in the Hall of Fame, and at the time, if he would have come back for his senior year and not gotten hurt, just played 12 games, he would have passed Ron Dane as the all-time leading rusher, right?
Should have, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Royce Freeman is still 7th all-time in rushing for college football history. 7th.
He has Oregon's rushing record.
He is above Charles White, who passed away today. Rest in peace, Charles White. And just a little behind Tony Dorsett. Royce Freeman is going to make the College Football Hall of Fame, which might make it the Springfield of Hall of Fames.
Yes.
Can you remember one Royce Freeman play?
Yes. Michigan State game.
Yeah, the flip from Mariota?
That, he had a big run in like the first quarter.
Okay.
He was good in the Rose Bowl against Florida State.
But do you remember a play?
See,
Yes, I remember a 37-yard rush in the first quarter against Michigan State.
Okay.
Yes, I remember a play.
All right, we got.
That's the thing with Royce is that he wasn't exciting compared to all the other.
No, he was exciting his freshman year. And then he gained 10 pounds, and every year thereafter gained 4.
Yeah, he was just a wrecking ball, fall for 6 yards every play.
Yes, his freshman year he was legitimately good. After that, whatever. But hey, he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Booble's got some Michael Clay stats for us when we're ready for them. Ski, if you have something to say.
Real quick. Yeah. Is Royce Freeman still on an NFL roster?
Yeah, he plays for the Texans.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Oh, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, exactly.
I did look it up. He was their leading rusher last. He had 60 yards or 50 yards.
He fumbled last week, literally off Augusta win. There was no reason for him to fumble. I think he was tanking.
Too bad my Colts are better at tanking than they are. I'll tell you that.
Yo, the play where his own teammate forced the fumble is one of the best things I've ever seen.
We got that number 4 pick now, baby. Great job, Colts. Fantastic hire of Jeff Saturday as a coach to tank. Explanation for everything. 33-0. Let's lose.
Very well done. So Michael Clay in the Rose Bowl against Wisconsin. 6 solo tackles, 7 assisted tackles. Kiko had 4 solo and 1 assisted. So,
but he had the
fake a stat as the assisted tackle.
Yeah, that's compiling. That's how you get that total tackle number really high. Is you have a guy who already made a tackle and you're just sort of diving on right at the end.
It's like if you want a lot of NBA players, if they wanted to get 10 rebounds, they could, because you just got to want it. If you want those assisted tackles, you just get in every pile that's possible. Boom, assisted tackle.
Yeah. He's like dude who latches on to Bosa sacks or something like that. He's trying to get that half a sack,
Touch that finger, it counts, right?
No doubt. Give it a touch. No doubt. He affected the runner. Yeah.
Since it happened, we got to talk about it. We'll spend 20 seconds on it. So Oregon basketball tonight lost 90-73 as 5.5 point favorites at home to Arizona State. Season's over.
Yes.
Was over. Is over. Going to be over. Don't need to pay attention to them.
This was the first game I believe they had everyone healthy playing.
Did you see the stands at Matthew Knight Arena?
Did you see me at the stands today? No. That's how important and exciting this team is.
No,
not in this game tonight.
The community is officially speaking with their wallets now. They don't care about this team. I'm not saying they don't care about the program. They don't care about this team. This season, we just don't need to mention it. They're bad. They're boring. Will Richardson, bless his heart. We talked ourselves into the 4th year maybe being different. It's not different.
Nope.
Not a shooter. He's not a leader. He's a number 3, and he's the number 1. It is what it is. They're one of the few teams that play still. Hey, N'Faly Dante puts up some good stats. He really does.
Yeah.
But it's weird watching them be one of the few teams on any level that still plays with a consistent back to the rim center who catches it, dribbles 3-4 times, and backing someone down. It's very bizarre. It's weird.
But,
we don't. Yeah, I don't care. We're done.
And that's their main offense. That's what they try to do the most. Is just feed him in the post. This isn't 20 years ago.
Well, it's crazy.
It's not even.
Altman's been waiting. Altman's been waiting for one of those his whole career. He's wanted that his entire time here, and he finally got one. And it completely stalls out and ruins any sort of offense they have. It's an impossible team to watch, man.
Might make a difference if you had shooters and you could pick out to a guy that you
absolutely
shot.
But they don't.
Be different. Nope.
I looked down at halftime and I was like, oh, yep, 29% from 3. That's 100% on brand. And Arizona State was 9 for 12, which is not sustainable. But it was 2 for 9 and 13 of 14. Okay. All right. We're good. Pack it up.
Lincoln City 69 says Altman's 3D chess becoming 4D.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like tonight, even Khalil Ware, I was like, I'm still gonna watch for like 5 minutes to see if Khalil Ware, and then he didn't play, and I was like, all right, okay, I'm gonna flip over to the Lakers game because they're
Blazers.
No.
No. By the way, I was watching the Blazers earlier, just sort of thinking like how horrible it's gonna be in like a month and a half when all we have is basketball. Like when the NFL playoffs are over, like this is gonna suck. Oregon's awful to watch. Like the women aren't even that fun to watch this year, and the Blazers are the Blazers are the Blazers. Like they're fucking middle of the road. They lose to teams they shouldn't lose to. I think Dame got hurt again tonight. It's like this. Nobody.
No, he's out. He's out there.
Okay.
Right now.
Well, he got like banged up earlier, so I don't know if he actually.
He always gets fucking banged up.
Exactly. That's my point. Is like
well,
like.
Finish yours.
I was just gonna say like both of the teams we watch and follow are not fun. Like the Blazers have fun moments, but they're not.
Blazers are fun adjacent. They're not good, but they're fun adjacent.
Yeah. Yes.
Like
exactly.
They'll have another run. What they win like 8 straight or something like that coming up here.
No, Booble, we're not talking Oregon baseball. No.
I was going to bring up pitchers and catchers report in like 40 days. That's what you got to look forward to.
We're going to talk about Carlos Correa every week for like 2 months.
Hey,
I
will say, like,
your age just signed some Japanese flamethrower.
Sure.
That's what the title said. Never heard of him.
Yeah.
The thing about the Blazers is, and it's kind of COVID expedited, but I've always kind of done it, is when the Blazers go on like an East Coast trip, and they've had like 4 of them already this year where they're gone for 9 days, I lose them. I'm not paying attention to a 4:00 game against the Wizards. I'm not doing it. It doesn't do it.
Won't do it.
But it used to be when they would come back, they'd get back on my radar. Now when they come back from those 10-day trips, it takes me like 3 or 4 days to be like, oh, is there a 3rd game back on the homestand?
Wait, you're trying to say you don't have Root Sports Plus just on all the time at your house to know what's going on with the Blazers?
I mean, I'm watching Kraken over here.
Oh, good. You're a big. I know you love the crack. The crack.
Peter Savelkin, right? Between the pipes.
He's always between the pipes. I think they had a big win tonight against the Bruins. I'm pretty sure. Big road win.
Cam Neely was out, and Bobby Orr's a little iffy, so I'm counting that win for the Kraken.
Throw out the records, Bruins and Kraken.
If Ray Bork's not out there forechecking on the blue line for the Bruins, I don't care. And the other Bruins? Have we run out of Bruins?
I think that's all of them.
That's way more than I could name. Good job.
I feel like they won a Stanley Cup a few years ago with some cool guys, but maybe not.
That giant Chara.
Oh, Chara.
And Brad Marchand.
You mean Yimmy?
Brad Marchand. Brett Marchand.
Yimmy Chara? Is that you talking about Yimmy and Diego? Is that what we're talking about?
Zdeno?
Yimmy Chara?
Zdeno Chara.
Zdeno Chara.
Okay.
Big Z. That's what we call them.
A different Chara. All right.
Was there a singer in like the 70s just called Chara?
I think so. Or we think about like Shaka Khan. I don't know.
That sounds like a thing.
That's a thing.
If only we had a way to find out.
I ain't fucking looking it up.
Should we talk about the Natty? Should we even like mention it? Jesus.
I kind of have to, but fucking, I guess this is why we don't want shitty teams against good teams. I stopped watching. Turned it off.
This is possibly why we should not expand the playoff. Is what TCU did against Georgia, and I don't mean what Georgia did against TCU, because
we forgot about Tuukka Rask.
Oh, Tuukka Rask.
Milan Lucic.
Oh, Milan.
Adam Oates.
Jeez.
Is this what the podcast is, by the way? Because we talked about that last week with baseball.
Bangers.
Players, right? We just name people.
Yeah, name people.
Yeah, okay.
Those guys are thumpers out there.
Mark Savard.
Obviously.
Yeah.
My thought on the CFP is the playoff is never good. We got 2 great games in semifinals, so of course we were due for an absolute skull fucking. And Georgia is a skull fucking program. They were this close to losing to Ohio State. Some say they should have, because maybe Brock Bowers didn't get that first down. Who knows? Make a field goal, they lose. But Georgia's a skull fucker, and TCU, good for them. They got there. They had no chance. No one thought they had a chance. No one even.
I believe. Well, I didn't think you didn't have a chance. You thought they'd be annoying and like backdoor the cover.
No, I was saying 14. They could, because they have a quarterback who just throws it 60 yards, and if it hits 2 or 3 times, they can cover. If it doesn't, they're losing by 40.
I guess it hit once, and it was what 17-7 after that, and then
10-7, 10-7, 10-7. Yeah,
and then Georgia got it another touchdown, and then another, and then it was over.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that you're Ski. I love that you're parsing whether or not King like brought up the fact that they might be able to sneak in a backdoor cover. not compete to win, not win the game, possibly, maybe
cover the 17.
Compete to cover the 17.
He said that they're an annoying team.
They are.
Dugan at quarterback. They gave up before Georgia gave up trying to score. That's what happened. And you get that insane score of a football game.
Yeah, and the bad thing is that we all want, or we're getting expanded playoffs, because that's just what we're getting. We're gonna get more of these games. It just is what it is.
I don't know if we are, because if you think about it, like the NCAA basketball tournament, you get the fun and exciting upsets early, but usually when you expand it enough, the good teams rise to the top. And that's what you get, Final Four championship game. I think if you go to 16 teams, I don't think you're going to get too many, big, lopsided games like this.
I guess it depends, because if they're going to seed them, you're going to have, I guess it'd be 3.
I'm saying only for the championship. I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you'll have some you'll have some upsets in the earlier rounds, which makes it exciting, right? But you kind of expect the good teams to get there in the end and have a good championship game.
Yeah, WCP mentioned that in the chat. He's like, a deeper playoff would have exposed TCU earlier, and so
would it have?
Probably.
Maybe. I mean, they would have hosted, because the first round is at home. So if they don't have a bye, they're hosting.
Maybe round 2 or 3.
Round 2, they would have played a Michigan.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I don't think TCU's great at all. I mean, healthy team, middle of the year, neutral field. Why would I pick why would I be confident Oregon is getting killed by TCU? Why would I be confident that Washington is getting killed by TCU? Why would I be confident Utah is getting killed? Yeah, I'm just not. But they got there. It's the system we have. It is what it is. And the talent disparity is so constant, and it always has been. Some of these stats are dumb because they've been keeping tallies of them for 18 years. But this was the biggest talent disparity in a championship game ever. But no shit. And the second highest, or the second one, which blew my mind, was, can you guess? Starting in 2002 to now, the biggest talent gap between teams that played in a BCS or college football playoff. I'll just give you 10 seconds to guess.
That's so many games. I don't know.
Okay. It was Clemson and Alabama with Deshaun Watson when Clemson won.
Wow.
And it's fake. And it's a fake number. And they even say it because Clemson, and they still do it, they're kind of annoying where they do our kind of guy bullshit. But they also only recruit 19 guys a class. They don't do... So, yes, they finished 16th in the nation in recruiting for 2 straight years. But you want to know who some of the guys they got? It was Deshaun Watson. And if Mike Williams, it wasn't Mike Williams, but it was guys that made the NFL. They just didn't recruit. So it's kind of dumb. But this one was by far the biggest expanse. And we got what we got. We all stopped watching it at halftime.
Booble mentioned Bama and Notre Dame, but Notre Dame got good recruits back then. Like, and they still kind of do, not as.
I think I think that was like the fourth biggest disparity.
Yeah. No. Speaking of watching it, by the way, because it was the lowest rated like title game ever, was it? Something like that, right?
So since it's been on cable.
Yeah. So I didn't really watch it myself. Like I acknowledged that it was on after work and turned it on, and then like I have my kids, so I'm like making dinner, like doing stuff, and I walk in. And it's like 35-7, I think it was. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, did TCU just not show up? I literally said that in the room and then walked back into the kitchen and started making food again. Came back in to eat my food. The game was even more of a blowout. And I'm like, okay, well, you can play video games, kid. Like, whatever. Like, I don't need to watch this. Nobody should be watching this anyways. You guys actually watch any of it?
I
watched
it
close to about the first half, maybe.
I kept it on while I did other stuff because I was like, well, the opportunities to just watch TV and do nothing, or football and do nothing, are kind of dwindling.
True.
But did I really watch it? No. I did tune back in like the third quarter because I was like, this could be a very funny beatdown.
Nope.
And at the end, I went back. I was really rooting for 70, just because 70 would be just a 72, I guess, or whatever would have just very funny number. But
70 in a title game. Fuck off.
But the funny thing about it is Sonny Dykes, their coach. Sonny Dykes,
he was not winning a national title. I'm sorry.
Sonny Dykes not winning. And we can all make fun of Mark Helfrich on that front too. Sonny Dykes was not. And so I was laughing at Sonny Dykes in my head. And I was looking up some Sonny Dykes Cal stuff. And you guys remember that game in like 2013 when they came here, Cal, with Jared Goff as a true freshman. And there was a literal like offshoot of a typhoon from Japan coming over the state. Do you remember that?
Very much.
Rained like 5 inches. And I'm reading this in the ESPN breakdown. And they said, Cal turned it over 4 times in the first quarter, including Jared Goff with 3 straight fumbles on 3 straight plays on 3 straight possessions. And his quote, Sonny Dykes' quote was, "We just couldn't figure out why Goff couldn't hang on to the ball, so we had to make an adjustment at quarterback." Really?
I got an idea why he couldn't hold on to the ball.
I got an idea too, because it's raining half an inch a minute. Like, there's your idea, bud.
Goff's does he got small hands?
He does have small hands.
Yeah.
Famously. Booble brings up that Georgia had players ordering wings on the sideline. Did you guys see that too? Where like not so much ordering, but he definitely went up, got some wings from somebody in the stadium, brought them to the sideline, and they were eating them. So
at least that game made me feel a little better about the Ducks beatdown they got from Georgia. At least the Ducks were able to move the ball. TCU could not move the ball at all. The one big play they had was a complete busted coverage.
Moral victory. Moral victory. Moral victory.
A touchdown is a moral victory against Georgia. 1. Ay. All right, so shall we transition to some NFL? I mean, I guess you mentioned the torrential downpour. That's what it's going to be for the Niners and Seahawks this weekend. Like if you have not heard, like the weather in California this week has been fucking insane. Like even in LA, it's been I mean, I think you saw it during like the title game, right? With the TCU
that was the best
fans.
Game of the best part of the title game was fans slipping and falling on a wet concourse because it's in LA and they didn't realize, hey, it might rain here sometimes.
And the one section in the upper deck of just TCU fans with a sideways rain coming at them from behind is just, it's like poetic.
I mean, it was, I was gonna say it was fitting for that game.
Yeah.
So what cracks me up about this weekend in general is that, it was year 2 of, like super wild card weekend, raw NFL in your face. It's gonna be abysmal, unwatchable. Niners Seahawks. weather and a super drecky team in the Seahawks. Bills and Dolphins. Skylar Anderson, enough said. Ravens, Bengals, whatever. Maybe Tyler Huntley? Maybe Anthony Brown?
Oh my God.
We don't know. It's just gonna be awful.
You gotta love Lamar Jackson just being like, look, I'm hurt. Like I could absolutely play. Like if I thought we could actually win, I would absolutely play. I'm not going out there to get my ass handed to me even more than I'm already injured. So fuck that.
This is a power move by Lamar because he's been fighting. He's been wanting that big contract from them, and they don't seem very interested to give it to him. So he's like, "Hey, guess what? See what happens in the playoffs without me."
Well, I mean, he's played 11 and 12 games the last 2 years, so maybe the Ravens are wise to not be giving him that big contract. Just saying.
Gotta go get someone.
I mean, sure, of course.
Future.
But I mean, come on. We can all see Lamar Jackson getting a big contract and then in a year and a half being done. Right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, yeah,
I mean, not like Cam Newton sad, but you're like, he's the 13th best quarterback in the league now. Like,
I mean, Kyler Murray just showed it this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
got paid a lot of money.
You can say it about any quarterback, I guess, that it just takes one play, snap, things change. But Lamar plays he's a little dependent on the wheels.
Well, also guys that perennially get hurt, like Kyler, like Lamar always seems to get banged up every year, like Jimmy G. Yeah. They're getting hurt sometime in the year and will miss some games.
This year has been really crazy what happened in Arizona because Arizona won 11 games last year. They gave Kyler an extension. They gave Cliff Kingsbury an extension. They gave Steve Keim an extension. And none of those people are around anymore. Like Kyler's still around, but he obviously fucked his knee up and he's not going to be ready for a long time, like mid-season next year maybe. And now they fire Kingsbury, Keim steps away. Man,
they're gonna deal D-Hop.
Yeah, they're gonna get rid of D-Hop, exactly. The NFL is so crazy in that way. Look at the Rams too. The Rams won the Super Bowl last year, and they were awful. Awful.
Well, don't even get me started on the Rams.
They had a little more injuries than the Cardinals.
Oh yeah, poor Rams.
I'm not saying at least they had some injuries.
Yeah, okay.
Arizona was pretty healthy for the most part for 10 to 12 games.
They're pretty banged up too, but yeah.
The Rams are the most annoying Super Bowl champion ever. They trade all these picks. They go all in for these mercenaries, which is fine. Do it.
Get your ring.
Fine. Yeah. But it's the NFL. It's a cap sport. You have to have an ability to bring in assets or trade away assets for talent. And they win a Super Bowl. They win every game in the playoffs by 3 points. Rams fans got a little mad at me because they're not dominant. They were never dominant this year. All those stars, not dominant. They're not repeating. They're not a threat. They're a threat. They're the Rams. We got Sean McVay and Aaron Donald. The best. He's the MVP every year. I don't care what you say. Man, there's games he makes one tackle. Don't care. Yeah, go to the Hall of Fame. Give me Dak Prescott over Aaron Donald. He'll make more of an impact. Again, I'm not saying he's better. He'll make more of an impact in 17 games than Aaron Donald will. That is empirically a fact.
I mean, he touches the ball every play, but yeah.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's better. I'm just saying. And then you got all these, I might retire. And then Sean McVay, again, you know what? I just don't know. I'm so tired. Why are you so tired, Sean? Is it because last year when you guys exhausted all your capital, you and your GM went on the parade wearing shirts that say fuck them picks? What you can do is when you win, you can do it. The victors go the spoils. I totally get it. But this was always coming. They have no future. They have no
came
talent.
a little faster than we thought, though.
No. They were never winning it this year. If you want to say they're 4-15 or whatever is faster, sure. They were not a threat this year. They're not a threat next year. They're not a threat going forward. Sean McVay, leave. Just leave. Just admit it's too hard for you. That's all I want to hear. I don't want to hear, I want to go spend time with my girlfriend. Like, you're 34, bro. Like, grow up. Like, just say, you want to know what? We mortgaged our future, and we have no chance of being successful, and I don't want that on my Wikipedia going forward. So I'm going to step away for 2 or 3 years and make a lot of money, and then I'll eventually come back and handpick and cherry pick a team that has stars and assets, because this is too difficult. I'm the smartest guy in the world. I talk to the quarterback, but right when he gets to the line, so close that the NFL had to change that rule because they're like, well, that's not even really fair. Like, that's a real big loophole. Sean McVay, he watched his build blow up right in his face, right? And he got the hell out of Dodge as fast as he can, just like his brother.
Who's his brother?
Timothy.
Tim McVay? Timothy McVay, the Oklahoma City Bomber?
Well, what happened here? What's going on?
I was thinking, is that where it took me a second, like, is that where he's going, Timothy McVay? I'm like, all right.
What do you mean?
All right.
No? I thought it was a good riff.
Yeah.
It was an okay riff.
It took me a second to realize, you're with Timothy. All right.
I'm frankly surprised I got on that so quick. I haven't heard that name in forever.
1994 domestic terrorism jokes. Hell yeah!
Boom.
Boom! Don't say boom! Don't say boom! Holy shit. Holy shit. Sean McCocktease, he says. You know what McVay needs to do is just, divorce his wife or like leave his girlfriend or whatever, and then Netflix will make a movie about him like Sean Payton.
Or you know what he can do? He can stick it out. He can be a real football guy. And when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Do that, Sean McVay.
Well, McVay's not a football guy, though.
He's not. He's just a nerd. He's just a nerd.
Guy. Yeah.
Looks like Jimmy Neutron. Get out of here.
And I could see him being like you said, Peyton. Peyton's coming back now. He's going to handpick exactly what team he could go to and exactly how much control he could get from them.
And I will say it's kind of funny, and I'm not really being completely serious about it, but like when players, like LeBron's kind of the poster child of it, where when they squeeze everything they can out of a franchise and leave, people get mad. Sean Payton did the exact same thing with the Saints that Sean McVay. Granted, he stuck it out for like 2 years when we all knew it was coming, where they had no salary cap and no draft picks and whatever. But that's why he left. It's not that he had I don't like football anymore. He was like, you want to know what? Drew Brees is gone. We're $47 million over the cap, and we don't have any first round picks for 6 years.
And we got Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton.
And Taysom Hill.
Before he left, he gave Taysom Hill all that money.
Yes.
That was his
gamble. Didn't quite work.
Okay. So on that note, how do we view Belichick and what he's done? Because Belichick was very similar situation, like obviously more so, like to a higher level, because he won a ton of Super Bowls, was losing the best quarterback ever, and the whole thing was being torn apart, like and rebuilt from scratch, basically, and so. He's got them close, right? And just
he doesn't have an he thinks so highly of himself. He doesn't have an offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Last year was a good year for him.
Yeah.
Rookie quarterback, playoff. This year was kind of doomed just from Matt Patricia and Mike Judge, defensive coordinator, and
Joe Judge,
special team. Mike Judge, Beavis and Butthead, right?
Yeah.
King of the Hill. Hey, as Hank Hill would say about some of these Belichick, decisions, that boy ain't right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was doomed before. It was, and Mac Jones isn't the answer. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I'm just saying, like, he has done a pretty good job with the. Is he their GM too? Like he picks the players, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like he's done a pretty good job with what that team currently has. Like the fact that he has Mac Jones as his quarterback and they were like sniffing the playoffs is good. I mean, it's not they're not in the playoffs, so they're not an actually good team, but what he's done there is fucking better than other coaches.
That's the difference, like you're saying, with Peyton and them and McVay is they have cap space. They could go get players. Belichick doesn't like to spend money and go get guys. He thinks he could do it with, I'll get these cheap guys, we'll go win. So it's a little different. Like they didn't, he didn't flush the franchise to win a couple Super Bowls and then, left him nothing for, 8 years going forward. They have plenty of stuff to do it if they wanted to. He just doesn't like to do that. That's not his style.
Sean Payton going to go fix Russell Wilson, you guys.
There's no fixing that.
Yeah. There might be. I'm just
yeah.
There might be. They have some pretty good players on that team. They just, for whatever reason, he was the worst quarterback in the NFL last year. All right, so
beat the Chargers last week. A Chargers team that was definitely trying way too hard for no apparent reason.
Because Mike Williams got hurt.
Couldn't move from the 5th seed. Hey, have fun with that Mike Williams injury, Chargers. Way to go, Brandon Staley.
We will get to Brandon Staley here in the next segment.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Because I did want to talk about the Chargers and the Jags a little bit. Just the fact that the Jags are in the playoffs is fantastic. Like I love that story. Like they're not going to do anything, but actually, you know what? They fucking might beat the Chargers this week. But I'm saying, like, the fact that they're in this position at all is great. Like, and Trevor Lawrence has been great. Like the second half of the season, he hasn't turned the ball over. Like, that was always his problem. Like last year too, is he'd fumble the ball all the time, and then have these like really bad interceptions. And this year, he just all of a sudden, middle of the season, he just stopped doing that shit, and they've been winning. Isn't it weird how that works? Like your quarterback doesn't turn the ball over.
Well, that too. Was this a spite season for Herbs? Just like to stick it to him, going like just such a piece of shit. Like, hey, look what we could have been.
Fucking Trent Baalke putting the team together, and they're in the playoffs. That's the thing that gets me, because Baalke was the GM for the Niners when they were awful. Like that long stretch of time where it was like Frank Gore compiling for 20 years and and nobody else good, and the team was just fucking terrible. Like that was Trent Baalke putting that horrific team together.
And he made an outstanding move. He traded like a future like 7th round pick for Calvin Ridley next year. Yep. When he finishes his like year and a half fucking suspension.
Amazing suspension, by the way. It's an amazing suspension, but whatever. Relative to other NFL suspensions, should we just do keep or kick, or like do you have other playoff shit you want to talk about? Because
I do have one for you guys. So I enjoy throwing a bet or two out on football games.
Yes,
your guys' teams. Kansas City is the favorite to win the Super Bowl betting, right? They're the third choice. They're not great odds. Like the Niners are 5-1 to win the Super Bowl, and plus 180 to win the NFC, right? But here's a bet. I like these. What do you guys think? A Niners Chiefs Super Bowl is plus 700.
I don't like
Niners
it.
You don't like it?
Chiefs aren't getting to the Super Bowl, man.
All right. Well, then you could stack on the back end of that Niners Bills is plus 800. You can bet both those, and you just got to assume the Niners get through and just kind of hope that the Bengals don't magic their way in again, is what it is. Are you shaking your head because you do not trust your Niners?
No.
Do you not trust Brock Purdy?
It's not so much Brock Purdy. This week makes me nervous. So listen to my logic. Listen to my logic here. So I really badly wanted San Francisco to play the Packers, like very badly. Like so I was actually watching the Lions-Packers game with like interest. I was like, please, Aaron Rodgers, like just don't be a pile of garbage like you've been this entire game. Pull something out and get this win. And then, I love the Lions. I'm also happy the Lions won that game because they're fun to watch right now. But it was like, fuck, the Packers are so bad. And I wanted the Niners to play the Packers in the first round because they own Aaron Rodgers, period. You know who they don't own and have never owned is the fucking Seahawks. And
beat them twice. Beat them twice this year.
Get the shit out of them.
I'm just saying,
Geno Smith.
and it's a monsoon. And so we know what weather does. Like the Niners lost to the fucking Bears this year, guys. You know who the Niners lost to this year?
It was Trey Lance.
It was.
Yeah.
And in the rain.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. The Niners lost to the Bears, the Falcons, and the Broncos this year.
You want to know? You want to know what Braga's doing right now with this Seattle Seahawks scare shit? Is after the Georgia TCU game, all those Bulldogs got on ESPN like, "Oh, you guys on ESPN said we were going 6-6 or 5-7. No one believed in us. No one said we had a chance." That's what you're doing. They're not losing to the Seahawks, man.
I don't think they will either.
Not even a watchable game. It's going to be like 27-12, but over at halftime.
I'm just saying the rain makes me nervous with a rookie quarterback. And so the one thing Purdy has not done is turn the fucking ball over, like at all. That's why Purdy's so good. Is he takes care of the ball, doesn't turn it over, gets the ball to his really good players, because the Niners have really, 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 really good players. All he has to do is hand off to McCaffrey, throw swings to McCaffrey, find Kittle when he's open. Like it's fucking easy. But if it's raining, that causes ball slipping.
You brought the Bears. I think the Bears were third in the NFL in rushing yards a game. Niners are third to last. And you had Trey Lance, who was not really a threat to throw on a non-rainy day, and you didn't have Christian McCaffrey. Niners win by 4 touchdowns. It's Geno Smith.
Yeah, Geno also has to play in the rain, so there is that too. Yeah. And
Kenneth Walker III.
Pretty good though.
For rookies, fine, yeah, but he's not scary.
He's not McCaffrey
by anything.
I do love that Justin Fields had more yards rushing this year than Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
If I'm the Bears, I'm trading Justin Fields.
Fields did that in like 7 games, by the way. Like once they finally stopped trying to make him throw, he was like 160 rushing yards a game.
And that's why I'm trading him.
Yeah. Or just move.
I liked him in college. I really did. But he's not good at throwing the football.
No.
And the Bears stink. I get that, but trade him, get CJ Stroud, start the clock over on the rookie contract.
Hey.
Bears.
Colts getting CJ Stroud. They could get Levis.
Tank for Stroud. I mean, you guys fucking
Anthony Richardson.
You guys fucking nailed that, Ski. You're tanking for Stroud. It's perfect.
Yes. Because 2 of the teams aren't taking quarterbacks. I know that. So, boom.
I got a hypothetical for you guys. So, Brock Purdy's situation moving forward for San Francisco. So,
hold that up also, Braga.
Okay.
That's coming as well.
Save it.
Yes.
Save it. Because you got a hypothetical.
Okay, so before we get to that,
yeah,
spend 45 seconds on talking about AFC Championship game in Atlanta. It's going to be weird, right?
Yes, it will.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a bummer.
So if the Chiefs lose, I'm going to call it a bubble championship. Don't you get it twisted.
I like that.
They earned the 1 seed, sort of.
That's only versus the Bills, correct? If they play the Bengals,
it's only against the Bills. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but that's going to happen. So
I don't know. Bengals.
I can never count. They're a fucking scrappy team with some weapons.
Bengals are extremely hot right now. Like they are very good right now. So
I was reading some stuff about the hottest team in football, blah blah blah. And they're doing also this team has won 6 in a row, it's won 9 in a row, it's won 8 out of 9. And then I'm like, again, I don't think the Chiefs are making the Super Bowl, but I'm like, Chiefs have lost once since the middle of October, and they're not included in the hot conversation. They just
Nobody likes talking about the Chiefs being good.
No, and I get it. I get it. Especially this year because they're really not exciting to watch either. So Mahomes is great. The rest of the team is just they're fine. They're good. But they're not exciting. They're like the 7th most exciting team in the league. Like maybe.
Hey,
I get it.
Let's do
the crazy thing, I think statistically this might have been Mahomes' best year also.
His 2018 year with 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards or whatever.
He set the single season yards record, right? Mahomes?
No,
this year?
No, he didn't. No.
I thought he did.
He threw for more yards this year.
Yeah, because he only threw for they shut it down against the Raiders. Yeah, no, he didn't.
I thought he did.
This year, he threw for 5,200 yards this year.
I thought that was the record.
Threw for 5,097 in 18.
Yeah.
In 16 games.
I swear I saw that was the record. Whatever.
50 touchdowns.
No, I think it was like 200 yards short. Peyton Manning still has the record.
50 touchdowns. Insane.
But it's the best he's played. This year is his best actual year of playing quarterback, if that makes sense.
Yeah, who cares? Nobody wants to talk about Mahomes. Who cares?
No, I get it. It's boring. Jarek McKinnon has 2 more touchdowns than Tyreek Hill this year through the air. It's just a fact.
Yeah, fuck Jarek McKinnon. All right,
the facts of life.
We're moving on.
The facts of life.
Keep or kick. I'm kicking Jarek McKinnon.
Jarek McKinnon, GOAT.
I'm betting Jarek McKinnon anytime touchdown every game.
Yeah.
Free money.
Hey, Alex, what does the M in Jarek McKinnon stand for?
All the money he fleeced the 49ers for?
MVP.
Uh-huh.
MVP.
Uh-huh. All right, let's actually do keep or kick.
All right. So you were just about to bring him up. Keep or kick Brock Purdy as your future Niner quarterback.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to bring up. So the scenario is so I'm curious. So say whatever something fucking happens, he plays poorly and the Niners lose to Seattle. Is he the quarterback next year? Oh, what just happened? Still here? We still here? Everything okay? Okay, my shit was bugging out.
Back.
My shit was bugging out. My bad. Okay, so
if he loses to Seattle, is he playing next year?
So if he loses to Seattle, do you keep him around because you invested?
Yeah, you keep him around. Yes.
Well, okay. Do you make him your starter? I should say. So
you get rid of Jimmy G regardless.
He's gone. He is gone because of the contract. Period.
Okay, yeah. And then you make it Lance and you make it Purdy.
But does Lance?
It's just a battle.
Does Lance start? Because you've given away so many draft picks to be able to get
quarterback competition.
He would start. You have to give Lance, just because of the contract, space to be the number one.
Okay.
I don't think he would keep it, but you go into it and I think Brock Purdy would only be a second year. I think NFL guys kind of get that, where they're like, listen, his contract is this and yours is that. He's starting as the one. You can beat him out, but
beat him out.
Contractually, we have to see if this number 3 or 4, whatever he was, is the guy, because he's making more in September than you will make this calendar year.
Brock Purdy currently lives with 2 roommates.
Yeah.
Right now, that's saying how much money he's making.
And that's just a side. I remember when Jordan Bell was playing for the Warriors, and it was like his 3rd year, and he's won like a ring or 2, and the stories of him were still living with roommates.
Yeah.
Because
the market, baby.
And these guys were in the NBA. One of them was also in the NBA.
It's also
can't afford to live in the Bay Area.
It's the Bay Area, yeah. I was gonna say.
Yeah, it just yeah.
My Jordan Bell with the Warriors memory is always gonna be the Fergie anthem remix video.
Such a good video.
Oh my god. Hey. So good, man. Okay, so that was
almost made Durant likable.
So that was my question though, because it's like, if Purdy wins a playoff game, how many playoff games will Purdy have to win to be the starter?
He'd have to win the Super Bowl to guarantee it.
Win the Super
Bowl. Look what happened to Jimmy G. Jimmy G got to the Super Bowl and was not the quarterback.
So I'm just saying, the way he has been playing, number 1 passer rating since he's been a starter in the NFL, not
system quarterback. Yes, we know.
Okay, we have established Kyle Shanahan as the unifying factor here. But that said, if he is doing what he's currently doing in the playoffs as well, I mean, I would have a hard time saying he's not the starter next year. So say he beats Seattle. Say he wins the next game against whatever, like Tampa or Dallas. I forget how it's seeded or whatever. But say he wins that next game too, NFC Championship game. Whatever happens in that game, he led your team to an NFC Championship. Lost 1 game as a starter.
I'm still fully behind with King. It's a quarterback competition with Trey Lance having an upper edge instantly because of the money.
Short leash.
Very short leash, but yes.
Yeah.
Everybody else is kicking that too. Like Booble, WCP. Yeah. Like WCP says he's a fine number 2 unless Lance isn't the guy. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I think because of the reseeding, I think the odds are that the Niners would go to Philly, like almost regardless. Because the NFL is doing this weird thing where they are reseeding stuff now.
So the 2 would play the 1?
Yeah, like
I thought it's always the.
It's not. They're reseeding stuff now this year. I was reading something that it's like it's a whole weird thing. I don't quite understand it, but it's not linear like you would think.
Huh, okay. WC.
It would take some stuff to happen. I shouldn't have said they would. It would take some stuff to happen, but they could go to Philly in round 2, which is fucking stupid.
Get it out of the way. Fuck it. I'm cool. WCP says his favorite Bell memory was the him getting shit faced on Henny during the parade.
Mine was ordering hotel room pornography for a very devout Christian head coach or assistant coach.
Who was the coach? The coach's name again? I'm trying to remember it.
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown. That was it. Yes.
Yeah.
That is also funny.
That didn't turn out too well for him.
Didn't work out well, but funny.
No, they're like, hey, have fun in Minnesota, Jordan. You're not going to be catching lobs. See how long you last in the league. And he didn't.
He gone.
Might got a little bit more money though in that pocket.
Yeah.
But,
hey, good for him.
Yeah. All right. Next, we brought it up early. We were going to bring it up earlier. Keeper kick Brandon Staley as the Chargers coach next year. Caveat: if they win against the Jags, does that save his job?
Here's my thing: they won't fire him because they can't find a reason to fire him, and the owners are cheap as hell. But
he should be fired no matter what, in my eyes.
I think this is one of those things where if you know he's not the guy, you know he's not the guy. Get Sean Payton in there.
Anyone.
Yeah, no, so are we answering this like we think he will be fired, or we think
he's not getting fired? They made the playoffs. He's coming back.
So so I guess keep him returning. I guess that would be right.
Yeah, I guess.
So yes, he is. Yeah, he's staying. Like he's not going anywhere. They won 10 games. They made the playoffs finally. He's not. I don't think he's very good. I think they could hire somebody way better, but I don't know who that is. So
see, the NFL it's just so funny because it was probably like the middle of October, end of September. I forget what it was. Chargers went to Cleveland. Brandon Staley totally fucked up in the last 30 seconds. The Browns so should have won, and their kicker just missed the last second field goal. Just missed it. If he makes that field goal, I think they probably still make the playoffs. I'm trying to remember who finished below the Dolphins.
You got Baltimore and Miami just below them. Same record as Baltimore. Pittsburgh 9-8 as well.
Ooh, so that would have been a weird tiebreaker. Things that didn't play, but that just shows how close Brandon Staley is to being fired. Right now, if Cleveland makes that kick and they finish it and they lose to Denver, he's gone. So this is my thing: is if he's that close, just get rid of him.
He should have been fired last year.
Exactly.
He should have been in the playoffs last year. You make the playoffs. You're in the playoffs. You're locked into a seed in the playoffs. You play your starters into the fourth quarter. You should have been fired on the spot on the field there. Mike Williams gets hurt. Bosa got banged up and out of the game. Eckler got destroyed on one play. I don't know how he bounced up. He's a little bowling ball, so I guess I know why, but he could have easily got hurt as well. It's negligence. It's a coaching negligence, that game.
I like that. Booble says keeper kick Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers.
No. Kick Harbaugh out of football.
Listen, the Chargers get shoved down our throats in this market. I don't want to see a Jim Harbaugh team.
Absolutely not.
Please stop showing me Jim Harbaugh. I don't want to see it.
It's very nice him coaching Michigan because we don't have to hear from him.
Good coach.
Yeah, totally.
I didn't watch TCU Michigan because I was like, this game's gonna be boring, and I was totally wrong. It was not. But I was like, I've seen Jim Harbaugh. They're going to score 32 points and just squeeze the shit out of the game. I don't want to see it.
Led the Niners to an NFC championship, so
he did.
Had some good times with them.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. All right, I got a couple more here. Currently watching the Blazers here. Do you keep or kick Anthony Simons?
Keep him, you kicked him.
Keep or... You could get more for Simons, though, right now, do you think, right?
No, star chasing. There's star chasing?
Yeah.
If you kick Simons, you're rebuilding again.
Trade Simons.
Yeah.
Because they need more pieces. I was just thinking you could probably get more for Simons right now than Dame. But
I don't think so.
If there is star power,
I guess salary stuff, sure, but
yeah. Keep. Wait, how does this work? Keep Simons.
Keep Simons. Yeah. Kick Dame is.
Keep Simons. Yeah, and not I. You know, again, the Blazers are not going to win a title, so keep Dame. Like, just keep him. You know, whatever. Like.
But we do know the only way they could win a title is by drafting players.
Yeah. So what are you trading Dame for?
A lot of fucking draft picks. Get a lot of first round draft picks. As many as you can.
Okay. And then hope they actually pan out.
Well, yeah, I mean just what the Celtics did. You just gotta hope you got a Tatum and a Jaylen Brown together. But, all right, next one's quick. Keep or kick AAA baseball going full-time robot umpires this next year?
Kick.
Very much kick.
Only because I read a report today from MLB that every game is graded by robots essentially anyway. And the average amount of missed balls and strikes in an MLB game last year, according to the robots, 4 pitches.
Per umpire per game?
Per game. 4. It's just 4. It's just 4.
Look at all these keeps. Like WCP and Booble in the chat saying keep. They want robot umpires. Why are you guys anti-union?
Listen, if the number was like 20, yeah, but Jesus Christ.
Union busters over here.
Yeah. If the number was like 21, I would totally get it. MLB's telling me there's 4 missed balls and strikes a game. It's inconsequential. Like, I don't care.
Average. So here's the thing. You kick the robot umpires, but you have to kick the umpires union because guys like CB Buckner and Angel Fernandez, it's not for a game for them. You have to be able to get rid of these guys. That's all it is.
Feels like racist.
What? Because they're minorities, even though they got just the worst zones.
You're not here. You were not here advocating for Jim Joyce to get kicked out.
Joe West, Cowboy Joe.
Yeah, Cowboy Joe. Fair enough.
A decade ago.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
Kick West.
And also, what I'll say is, just this week I saw a video of a self-driving Tesla stop on the Bay Bridge and cause an accident. You want to know what's not doing that? My Chevy F-150. I guarantee you that because I got my foot on the gas and it's going, baby. I don't trust the robots. I don't trust them.
Joe West ain't stopping on the Bay Bridge.
Will you set an alarm for 10:30?
Joe West was trying to go on the Bay Bridge and ended up on the Golden Gate. That's how Joe West works. But he ain't stopping on it.
Oh, yeah.
Crashed into Alcatraz.
All right. Last one here. Keep or kick George Santos in the House of Representatives. It is a fucking whirlwind of hilarity coming out. Like every day, something new's coming out. Did you see that? He said he won like a national championship in volleyball at a college that he didn't attend. How can you make this stuff? How can you make this up?
Listen. Al Martin, when he was on the Mariners, said he started at linebacker in the Rose Bowl for USC against Michigan State. He didn't even play football at USC. He didn't walk on. People do this stuff.
Yeah,
I'm keeping them.
You gotta keep them. You gotta keep them. Gotta keep them. That's what I'm saying. You gotta have. Yeah. You gotta have one just funny guy like this in there, even though
A
he's
funny guy.
He's a funny guy.
Hey, funny
Hey.
fucking guy.
Eh.
So he lies about everything
No,
he's
no,
ever.
no.
He lies about everything he's ever done in his life. Who cares?
It's funny.
He's funny. We keep him around.
The guy's like 5'7", saying he's winning national titles in volleyball. He could have picked a different sport.
Shut ups, man. Have you seen his calves? I don't think so.
No, he's
Some springs.
no, he's like
He's a libero.
He's a digger. Isn't that what they call them? The short ones who wear the different shirts or whatever. Yeah.
Not be a little racist here.
Yeah, maybe don't say that word associated with him, huh?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Keep it moving.
Anyway,
Yeah, We're done.
I think we did have some listener suggested keeper kicks. Let's see if I can find them. My mouse stopped working, so I don't have a way to. Yeah, nope, can't do it. Can't do it.
Yours did too. So did mine.
Yeah, that's why my computer fucked up. Is like my mouse was plugged into the USB and it all of a sudden started fucking up and froze everything. So
Wow.
I unplugged it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't trust those robots, right?
Yeah, that's it. I would like to change my vote to keep the robots.
Oh.
If there are any robots watching, I just
Keep all robots.
just like to note that I think robots are great, and we're doing a great job.
Except for you, Bender. You can get out of here. You're kind of worthless.
Bite my shiny metal ass. Yeah. All right. Let's do our list. What's our list? Who came up with the idea?
Oh my God, we're still going? Jesus Christ.
I know.
Only 2 hours, guys.
Well, an hour and 20 minutes, but yeah.
Fuck. Okay, our list. Top 3 bowl games just decided on, not the game, not the, just on the sponsor's name. It's like the example I gave to these guys earlier is the Fiesta Bowl went from like the Sunkiss Fiesta Bowl to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl to PlayStation to Battle Frog, and now it's Verbo. So you're just going on the sponsorship name.
Battle Frog.
Yep.
Battle Frog. That was an era.
Who played in the Battle Frog Fiesta Bowl? I think it was just one.
I don't know.
What year was that?
I'm pretty sure it was Ohio State and Notre Dame, and like Jalen Smith tore his ACL, and the whole like ESPN computer was like, well, that's it. Cancel all bowl games forever. He's going to be a first round pick. He's got no future in the NFL now. Get rid of games. He's fine. He's very rich and very good.
He's doing great.
They missed a chance to go with Battle Toads instead of Battle Frog. Then you could have those cool like 90s NES like blocky pictures of the Battle Toads.
That's what we need. That's what we need. Xbox making all this money off us with Game Pass
Don't-
and stuff. Like we
Listen.
need some like Xbox sponsored games as
We
the sponsor.
just watched the championship game on Monday. No more Toads. Get Toads out of here. I don't want to
Yeah.
hear about
All
that Toad
amphibians get sucked out
Sprocket.
of
I
here.
don't. Yeah, just get him out of
Toad
here.
the Wet Sprocket.
Toad the Wet Sprocket. I think that was a band, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grunge,
Absolutely.
right?
I mean, sure.
Ooh.
Lot of 90s music was supposed to be grunge, but what? Yeah, but yeah, okay. Toad the Wet Sprocket. All right. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
My number 3 kind of gave it away in the example, but it is the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, just because I liked the logo with the 2 people dipping a chip. You know, they were teased, but they were dipping
That
the
was good.
chip. It's pretty good.
Pretty
It is
good.
It is good. And the routine of dumping chips on people is always good too. Like the Cheez-It Bowl this year, where they dumped a huge container of Cheez-Its on the coach. That's fantastic.
And you know, they would always say like, "This is for all the Tostitos."
So good. So good.
So good. This is for all the $4.29 bag.
Well, I tell you what, my number 3 is matching Booble and WCP, who actually put in the chat. Their number 3 is the Idaho Potato Bowl.
Oh,
The
famous Idaho Potato Bowl.
Famous
Idaho Potato Bowl. Exactly.
Once upon a time, called the Micron PC Bowl.
What a
Look it up.
Yeah. You gotta love all the random, like especially the last few years, like the random companies that no longer exist that were sponsors of bowl games. They had billions of dollars for like a few years and just threw it at whatever they could, naming stadiums, fucking naming bowl games. And now they're gone.
All right. My number 3 is the Sherry Bundy what? Sherry Bundy Tart Boca Raton Bowl.
Oh.
Do you know what that company is?
No idea.
Is that like
I assume they make
person?
tarts.
A person named Sherry Bundy is like, hey, I got $1 billion. I want to sponsor a bowl.
It's married to Al Bundy's sister. I don't know.
There you go.
Ted Bundy?
Ted Bundy was a Husky. Lincoln City 69 says Serve Pro First Responder Bowl. Hashtag.
Oh,
never forget.
love me a good first responder bowl.
Yeah.
Salute the troops.
Oh,
I remember I was on 9/11.
Proud to be an American.
it was actually the Sherry Bundy Tart Cherry Bowl,
Okay.
and it looks like it's some sort of
It's like
a drink of some kind.
Is it a Marachanto cherry company or something?
They make some sort of cherry drink.
America.
And they're tart.
Our home, sweet home. First responder bowl, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
All right, what's your 2?
My number 2. Good old San Diego classic in the Murph. The Culligan Holiday Bowl. Because who doesn't love a good water cooler chat? That's Culligan just delivering water. Just good old water cooler. COVID, you took that away from us.
Have you guys had a job where there was a water cooler?
Yes.
Yes, I
that
have.
you would go.
No one.
No, you don't hang out by the water cooler.
Are people talking at the water cooler?
No.
I'll say it is a very fulfilling thing to replace the water cooler jug. I don't know. I don't know if you've ever done that in your life.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, you put it in there.
It's like gravity there.
Doom, doom. Oh, it's so good.
See that little cap rise up.
Yeah, it's great. You're like, I'm getting hydrated and getting the show every time you fill your water up, and the air bubbles.
And I still love the perfect pour at the end of a Culligan water cooler. Oh, there it goes. You just stand around like a proud dad in your khakis looking.
I mean,
every last drop.
Is there any better tasting water than going to a water cooler with one of those like snow cone holders, and that's what you're drinking out of too?
Well,
like wax paper and water mix. I mean,
on a golf course, it's hitting hard. Inside, I can pass.
You pass on, all right.
Yeah, on a golf course, it's like colder too. I don't know what the deal is with that.
It's always a yellow and red igloo, cooler.
Oh yeah,
it's got to be igloo. Yeah.
So good. So we got some more in the chat. We got the number 2 from WCP is the Cheez-It Bowl. I agree.
I do love Lord Cheez-It at the end or whatever his name is. Yeah.
Number 2 for Booble was the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl.
I do love Jimmy Kimmel throwing up. It's very funny.
Was that the LA Bowl?
It was Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. Yeah. Do you mean Joe Camel?
No, its name's Jimmy Kimmel. You haven't seen that clip from the Oregon State game last year?
I guess not.
They're interviewing him outside of SoFi. They have a fake lake, and they're interviewing him before the mighty Utah State Aggies and Beavers play. And they put the mic up to Jimmy Kimmel, and he just vomits everywhere.
Of course.
I don't know why.
Of course.
Hilarious late night stunt, I guess.
I mean, what?
They're wacky.
We're Guillermo. I bet you Guillermo.
He's always up to something.
My number 2 is the Bell Helicopter Armed Forces Bowl, because a company thought it was a good idea to advertise their helicopters for a bowl game, because there's a huge market supposedly for helicopters. Big market for helicopters. Hey, okay, all right.
Bill, you only need to sell a couple of them a year.
I guess so. And if it's the Armed Forces Bowl, there are people who are wanting to buy them. So
exactly.
Yep. I just thought that was funny. Fucking Bell Helicopter.
My number 2 is, who doesn't love the Vegas Bowl? 01 and 02, the Sega Sports Vegas Bowl. Because who doesn't love Sega Sports?
Sewer Shark just running amok.
Yeah.
Sega CD. I do love the idea of them getting a Sega CD package in 2002.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah, would that not have been maybe the Dreamcast?
No, it would have been. I'm just saying, my dream is them getting the Sega CD attachment in 2002.
Somebody still has a gift bag from that. Like, like somebody who played in that game still has that. I guarantee you.
Echo the Dolphin.
I'm going to hit up eBay right now and see.
Yeah.
All right, continue on, Ryan.
My number one, and it's kind of a compiler list. It's like the Craig Biggio of bowl games, but it is the St. Petersburg Bad Boy Mowers Bowl in 2014, and in only 2014. Think about how far ahead they were. It was the St. Petersburg Bitcoin Bowl in 2014.
Wow.
And before that, it was the St. Petersburg Magic Jack Bowl. Do you remember Magic Jack? Magic Jack is still around, and you still have unlimited calls to Canada and the USA before 10 p.m.
That's great.
And my first, the OG, when this was played at the Trop. Now it's played at the Tampa Bay Stadium. This is when it was played with the Devil Rays played. The St. Petersburg Beef O'Brady's Bowl. Because they looked across town and saw the Outback Bowl and they're like, well, we're not as good as a generic shitty chain restaurant as Outback. We're just Beef O'Brady's. So we're going to sponsor a bowl game 4 miles across the bay inside of a baseball stadium. Beef O'Brady's.
Beef O'Brady's.
Something about St. Petersburg, man. It's just different. Booble says LSU beat Havana University in the Bacardi Bowl, 56-0. So that's his number one. That's good.
How long ago was that? Like 1922?
Havana
I don't think you can sponsor that
University.
anymore.
Like what?
I do have some news here, fellas.
I would love to see Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson play against Havana U.
Do you guys have an idea who played in the 2001 Vegas Bowl? Sponsored
I'm going to say USC and Utah.
Yeah,
USC,
right?
Utah.
Yeah.
You can buy a game-worn jersey and pants from number 85 of USC for $800.
Oh, my God.
We got to find out who that is.
And the other one, the 2002 Vegas Bowl. King, do you know who played in the 2002 Vegas Bowl?
No. I'm sad enough that I know the 01.
It was your Bruins versus the Lobos.
Oh, the Lobos. Oh.
You could buy a Las Vegas Bowl Sega Sports shirt for $17.
Ooh.
Do it. Why have you not done that yet?
Right? Fucking steal. It's a... Doesn't say what size.
Put it on the wall. Put it in a frame.
It is fucking fantastic. Can you guys see that?
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's so
It's
good.
Oh, it's so good.
Candy cane letters?
Candy cane letters with like tree ornaments crashing into each other.
I don't know why you haven't bought that yet. I'm a little disappointed in you, frankly.
I forgot to look at this, guys.
See, that's why I used to like the Jeep Oahu, Hawaii and Oahu bowls, was because they made the wreath with the ornaments in it, and then on the inside of it, they just had a little island and a lone tree to let you know they're in Hawaii. But also, it's Christmas time.
It's a medium. Can you guys fit into a medium shirt?
I mean, not currently.
A medium shirt from 2002. That's even smaller.
No. Yeah, that's a small now.
Yeah. Standards have changed in that time frame. Wait, who did you do your number one, King? You did. Yeah.
Yes.
You had like 80 of them for your number one. My number one is the classic, the Pool on Weed Eater Bowl.
Absolutely. Can't go wrong with it.
Do you know which bowl that actually was? It no longer exists. What'd you say?
It was the Independence Bowl, right?
Yes, it was. It was the Independence Bowl. Yeah. Independence Bowl no longer exists.
Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah, man. That's that's when Oregon jumped on the scene with Bill Musgrave.
Big Tulsa.
That's right.
And then a few years later went back and lost to Wake Forest.
Wow.
God damn, Oregon's lost to Wake Forest twice in bowl games.
They need to stop playing Wake Forest.
Though, in fairness, I think they did beat him in the basketball tournament once with like Darius Sangaila.
Ooh, Sangaila, yeah.
Sangaila.
That's a name.
That is a name.
It's definitely a name of a
person. I remember a few years ago, it's like, oh man, yeah. Oregon beat Wake Forest in like the Sweet 16 or 13, whatever it was. It's like, oh man, yeah, that's kind of cool. They beat Chris Paul, and I'm Googling like, oh. Darius Sangaila. A little different.
A little different.
All right, what's your one, Ski?
All right, my number one is the predecessor to the Cheez-It Bowl And that is the Blockbuster Bowl held in Miami. That was early 90s sometime, I believe.
Rest in peace, Wayne Huizenga.
Yeah.
Many a good Friday night spent at Blockbuster.
Wayne Huizenga.
They should bring it back. Bring back the Blockbuster Bowl, you cowards.
You cowards!
I love playing the Wayne Gretzky hockey demo at Blockbuster once.
Oh,
goddamn right.
Fun.
Goddamn right.
So many goals.
You know, that's something that went away with the pandemic, is playing video games in a store, because they don't set that shit up anymore. Like, you used to be able to just go in and like they'd have a video game on and you could just fuck around and play it. Can't do that shit anymore.
And also, in fairness, they don't even really sell consoles anymore, because for some reason they're just not.
They sell them to robots. Robots buy them.
Yeah, the robots. It's damn robots.
Yeah.
Booble says honorable mention Gaylord Hotel's Music City Bowl presented by Bridgestone.
See, and again, I actually love that bowl game because I've mentioned it before. They did not bother getting rid of any of the Titans paint. They would just throw on an NC State logo, and you could just see Titans. It was NC State and Purdue, but all you could really see was Titans. And then 2 weeks later, the Titans would host a really sad playoff game, and you could still see a train with smoke coming out in the end zone. Just the saddest thing ever.
I'm surprised you could see that through the fog they have on the field 24/7.
Always, if September, January, it's always foggy in Nashville.
Always. All right. You guys got anything else before we bounce? We've been here way too long. You said it. You said it earlier. I was thinking of saying before we started, like, okay, listener and viewer, we'll try to keep it to an hour, and we fucking suck at that.
I'm keeping a tight log next week, and we are an hour.
Have a clock right here, and just have a countdown clock.
It's gonna be like around the horn, and I'm just gonna say next topic.
I love it. Or have a buzzer, or something like exactly. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for listening. All that good stuff. We will see you on Sunday for the movie podcast. Okay. Bye.
Bye.